but not demoted.
Right.
All right. Kiihne's on your right. Dylan Hand is on your left. It's Mono Green Devotion versus Simic Eldrazi. Deck list will be up from our friends over at Cardboard Live in just a bit. Big shout out to them for all the great work that they do for the Magic community and making the viewing experience that much better. We are underway. It is a once upon a time for free. Dylan Hand going to take a look at the top 5 cards of his deck. Take a creature or a land. Even I was smart enough to play this one last weekend.
This one didn't escape your radar?
No. No, I didn't win very much last weekend once upon a time, but even I knew to cast it. Jadelight Ranger, the find. That is a forest. That is a Elvish Mystic. Hand has a 1-drop. A Botanical Sanctum into a Llanowar Elves means that both players will be playing some spells ahead of schedule. But we know that Mono Green Devotion does that better than any other deck in the format. There is Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. A very powerful card. There's been some ban conversation around that powerful card. And that's thanks in part to Burning Tree Emissary being quite good here. Now there is Jadelight Ranger. So we will explore twice Polukranos among the cards that Dylan Hand is looking at. Elvish Mystic went to the graveyard. Polukranos World Eater is going to stay on top of the deck. And now Jadelight Ranger is a 4/3 as we head back over to Zachary Kiihne. A Lovestruck Beast, which is just going to be a turn 2 5/5. There is a 1/1 on the battlefield there for Kiihne in Llanowar Elves, so it's a combo. Yes. The bad news here for Kiihne is that Hand has access to a Nykthos with 5 Green Devotion on the battlefield right now, so he's going to activate that Nykthos. He's going to play Vivian Arcbow Ranger, a card many were searching for on Twitter and Facebook yesterday. I know that Dylan Donegan had to crack a boosty to find one, and he cracked a foil one because when you're running good, you're running good. Donegan winning a PTQ at Mythic Championship 6 last weekend with Simic Wurza, and then cracking a foil Vivian when he needed one, is now that Llanowar Elves is dead. There you do see Vivian Arcbow Ranger from Core Set 2020. A powerful Planeswalker to be sure, a little bit difficult to cast with triple green and the mana cost, but not too hard for this Green Devotion deck there, partner.
And this was my concern coming into the game from Kiihne's side. Neither good at attacking mana creatures, nor building towards something considerably more powerful than Mono Green Devotion is doing. And will be interesting to see what the out is here.
Pre-combat, he'll play a Elvish Mystic, which means a Lovestruck Beast can attack. 5/5 is going to go after Vivian, which of course has 5 loyalty counters. So if it were to connect, it'd be good news for the Lovestruck Beast and Zachary Kiihne.
A little surprised that Hand allowed Kiihne to go to combat here. Could have just ballisted the Elvish Mystic pre-combat.
A little surprised by that as well. Would have certainly slowed things down in a meaningful way. Hand, I think, might be considering a double block here. Also, this will be interesting. Perhaps that Kiihne went a little too quick, and Hand is saying, well, you didn't give me the opportunity to kill your creature before you attacked. So it looks like a little back-and-forth conversation here between the two players. I can tell you in the interim that Kiihne does have a Vivian in his hand, along with an Oko and Brazen Borrower. And the Petty Theft half of Brazen Borrower would mean that if Hand did a little bit of double blocking, it would be probably bad news for him. So it looks like a judge has been called early on in our tournament here. While we're waiting on that, Patrick, what does Dylan Hand have in his sideboard to search up with Vivian?
Questing Beast, Reclamation Sage, Nylea's Disciple, Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not a ton of stuff, but enough stuff.
No. I mean, this kind of matchup, you know, it's just going to be so much about containing the battlefield, and both the fight mode and the counter mode are so good at that I would imagine that's going to be the lion's share of it. Although maybe Hand's going to have enough mana to work with next turn that he might even dial up Ulamog. If we could get to that point.
All right, it's not that hard for him to get to. Can't forget that Vivian does generate 3 devotion. And that's a very real thing. Now, Vivian would leave the battlefield to search for something. But you can, of course, add the mana first and then use the Vivian. And then perhaps cast the Ulamog. So, while these players are waiting for a judge, and we will, of course, you see our friend there, Abe, sitting there in between these two players. Perhaps he's working on this ruling. We'll get some more information for you about that in just a second. Let's talk about the StarCityGames.com YouTube page. There, intern Rob. where you know what you can find there? A whole bunch of goodies there, Patrick.
Oh, a lot goes up on the YouTube page, including Versus Live, Commander Versus, Flashback, Best of the SCG Tour, and much more. You can subscribe today over at youtube.com/StarCityGames. Become one of, north of 150,000 subscribers and get notified when new content is uploaded to the page.
How many do you think we got, subscribers? Give me a guess.
175.
Okay, I'm going to go find out for you right now.
I wanted to shoot low so I wouldn't embarrass us. Because I knew north of one,
smart.
but I didn't want to say 175 for sure because I'm not.
That's smart. That's smart.
Not 100% on it.
I like that. Play it safe.
But 150 is still a nice big round number, so I thought that would work.
You played it well from every angle there. 173,000.
Okay.
Well done. Walking Ballista is now going to kill the Elvish Mystic pre-combat, it looks like?
No, it looks
like a block.
And just chump blocked.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the ruling here was Kiihne. We were too far gone. Kiihne could move into combat.
Well, we're going to do a little petty theft here on the Vivian. Okay. Now remember, that puts it back in the hand. Doesn't put it back on top of the deck or anything like that. And now the Brazen Bar will be exiled because we've completed the adventure half of the card. So now we'll head back over to hand, who does have, as you can see, access to plenty of devotion to be able to redeploy that Vivian, so he'll do exactly that. And now the follow-up is another copy of Walking Ballista. So his battlefield still looks quite good. And the combination of Vivian and Walking Ballista is going to be a pretty hard one, I think, for Zachary Kiihne to beat. A couple of Knuckleheads will attack. We'll head back over to Kiihne. Kiihne's going to deploy his own Vivian Arcbow Ranger. There's a reason a lot of players were looking for this card. It is very powerful. Lovestruck Beast is going to battle the Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista will take care of Vivian and a little bit of Kiihne's life total. But no Lovestruck Beast can attack. Now this is the scary part here because Dylan has an active Nykthos against Kiihne, who is tapped out and can't do much of anything. So now he's going to go into the tank as far as math is concerned. Activate that Nykthos there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green mana. 8's a lot. Here's a Pelukrinos with some mana left over, 4 to be exact. And we know how good this card is when it has access to a ton of mana. You and I covered those Theros standard days many moons ago.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, more emblematic of the issue here in the matchup that I worried about from Kiihne's perspective of just can't interact with the mana and the stuff that hand puts onto the battlefield. Ahead of schedule is better than what Kiihne's playing on schedule.
Pelukrinos, with the help of Vivian, is going to fight Lovestruck Beast. Now, replacement Vivian means that things are going very, very, very well for Dylan Hand. He'll plus his Planeswalker. 2 counters will be deployed. One will go on Elvish Mystic. One will go on Burning Tree Shaman. Here's some beatdowns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage. Kiihne going to fall down to 2, and this one will be a wrapper in just a moment because there's no way for Kiihne to come back.
No, there's not. Hand with unlimited mana, dominating battlefield. Kiihne with no catch up, and we're done.
Dylan Hand going to win game number 1 here over Zachary Kiihne. Mono Green Devotion wins that first game over Simic Eldrazi pretty easily, and this does speak to what you talked about right at the top, where Kiihne's trying to play in the middle, and that's not a good place to be against Mono Green Devotion.
No, Thought Knot Seer is one of the most playing in the middle cards that has ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
We saw, maybe Kiihne can clean this up if he's on the play for a sideboarded game, but game number 1 we saw kind of all the concerns I had on display right away. Couldn't interact with the mana, the top end was too powerful, no answer to Nykthos, and Hand in a dominating position from beginning to finish.
Now I am curious your thoughts on the Eldrazi in Pioneer. Eldrazi are powerful cards.
Yep.
But, is this format about something else where Thought Knot Seer, Reality Smasher, and your boy
the Matter Reshaper.
That's right. Is it not about those cards in this format? Because those cards are all very much we're playing in the middle.
So the mana is actually pretty promising for those cards. A lot of good lands that make colorless mana. You have the Apocalypse, Pain lands. Those are legal. You have Mutavault as an option. A couple other good colorless lands as well. So casting them is not that challenging. And you have the good mana accelerators that can play them ahead of schedule. The issue that I have with Thought-Knot Seer specifically right now, and I guess you could add Mana Reshaper and Reality Smash to this list, is they just don't seem all that good against Mono Green Devotion. It's really rare that it's down, it comes down to one key card. They have a lot of creatures bigger than 4/4s that dominate in combat, and it's not even that hard for Mono Green Devotion to kill the Thought-Knot Seer and get their card back. So I think those cards are going to have their day in the sun. The mana is good for them, and they're powerful Magic cards, but I think you're going to want Mono Green Devotion to simmer down a little bit before you start building the Eldrazi decks.
Which I think makes a lot of sense. And I do think, as we talked about a little bit during the pregame show, that this deck will simmer down a little bit.
Yeah.
It is very good, but it's very beatable.
Right.
I think it's very, very beatable. So we'll see. I mean, not in that last game.
No.
That's for sure. But I think on the whole.
That's it. I'm just concerned about, sort of strategically how Kiihne's positioned himself for this matchup specifically. Now, if he was on the play of that game, he would have had access to turn 2 Oko, and maybe that shapes the game very differently. Maybe that's actually good enough to pin some of Hand's mana or make the game a little bit about something else. But on the draw there, he fell behind on the battlefield so fast that he couldn't even play his copy of Oko, in fact, died with it in his hand. So hopefully for Kiihne's side, Game 2, access to the play, some of his tools will be a little bit better served in the matchup.
Well, we'll have our sideboards in front of you folks here on the screen in just a moment, but for now, we're just going to do it old school. We're going to read them off. So for Dylan Hand, he's got 3 Shaper Sanctuary, 2 Questing Beast, 2 Reclamation Sage, 2 Unravel the Ether, and Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger to find with Vivian, 2 Nylea's Disciple, and 2 Life Crafter's Bestiary. What are we liking there?
So the creatures are really not for this matchup, and they're better served, I think, as targets for Vivian. I could be talking to the Life Crafter's Bestiary if you think Kiihne's going to be sideboarding mostly into interaction. I don't think it's fantastic in this matchup. Kiihne does have the ability to get to the battlefield pretty fast. You can assume he has Oko, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hand brought those cards in.
For Kiihne's side, he's got a Tireless Tracker. He's got a Frilled Mystic. It's an interesting inclusion. I've got 2 Scavenging Oozes, a couple copies of Entrancing Melody. Wow, okay. I haven't seen that one for a hot minute. Disdainful Stroke, 3 of. Stubborn Denial, 3 of here as well. I'm not sure if any of these cards really stand out to you very much.
I like the Disdainful Strokes. He's got to fight. He's got to fight the top end. He can't do anything about the mana, so you got to do something about the expensive cards. Lines up the right way against Plurikunos and Vivian, a couple other cards as well. Past that, I mean, this is a lot of stuff for kind of grindier matchups. Not really appropriate here. I don't think I would bring in Stubborn Denial here.
No, I don't think that's particularly good.
No, I don't think so either. But I do like Disdainful Stroke. If Hand's going to be able to run wild with his mana, if you're sort of conceding that element of the game, then you've got to do something about the expensive cards, and Disdainful Stroke is something.
Well, these players will take a look at their opening hands here in just a moment. You know what? You should be thanking us at home. We spared you. Did we do an ad? I think we spared them. Did we do an ad?
Maybe we did. I don't know. Hit him.
No, we spared them. We're sparing them.
We're sparing them.
Yeah. So we did YouTube, but that was... No,
we did the newsletter.
Yeah, we did the newsletter, and we did YouTube. We're old. I can't remember when we did. We just did YouTube.
We didn't do the sale. It wasn't ready.
Yeah, sale's not ready yet. We're still cooking up the sale.
Okay.
Yeah, we spared them.
Yeah.
We spared them an ad. That's all right. You'll pay for that a little bit later there, viewers at home, who we love and adore. All right, we were just kidding. You're going to learn more about Dylan Hand. Does this count as an ad?
No.
This is informational.
Right. This is not an ad.
Okay. We're not trying to sell you anything.
We're
not trying to sell them anything.
I do like that you've expressed there is a difference between an ad and something that's informational, even though an ad ostensibly provides you information. I do like revealing that. Go ahead with this.
Okay, can I go?
Go for it.
All right, great. Dylan Hand. I'm going to sell you on Dylan Hand. 25 years old from Southampton, Massachusetts. 2018 SCG Tour. He played in 8. Not top 8 any. Didn't win any. Now all time, he's top 8 at 6. So that's good news. Graduated college with a degree in informatics. Informatics from UMass Amherst. That sounds hard. That sounds really hard, actually. What do you think informatics are? Math?
I thought that Dylan described it to me once sort of as information security, but I don't know for sure. Don't recall.
He's probably like one of those people that works on like security systems for casinos and stuff. Yeah. A victim of the Ocean's 11 movies. That's what he is. They're like on Netflix now. I've been watching them. Yeah, they're still good. I don't know.
They hold up.
You have to have liked those movies. Who doesn't like those movies?
They're all right. They're all right.
They still hold up, though.
Yeah.
Clooney and Brad Pitt, just great chemistry on screen. Once Upon a Time, for free. Do I get to say that all weekend long?
I don't know. It's not really once upon a time if it happens over and over and over again. But I don't really know what to do with that.
It'll be a Elvish Mystic. Kiihne just can't wait to take his turn. There it is. Both players in Elvish Mystic. They're starting off with 1 drops again. Kiihne's got the Hashep Oasis and Smuggler's Copter. I would have attacked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Give him the business with that little elf.
I don't know. Hand's going to block for sure. He knows you took Thought Knot off the Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, well, look, now my creature's dead. I missed out on a point of damage. Hey, look, I don't think the hand blocks. You got to keep those mana accelerants. Bang. Ship it. Your turn. I like it.
Yep.
Quick entrancing melody. Melody's interesting. Forgot that card existed. Here's Jade Light Ranger. Going to explore once. Force to the hand. And twice. Nykthos to the hand. So no counters on the Jade Light Ranger. 2 lands added to the grip there for Dylan Hand. Here's a Thought Knot Seer right away. We see a hand here. It looks like... What Planeswalker are you? It's a Questing Beast. It's from War of the Spark. I should know this. Nissa.
Nissa.
There we go. It's that alternate art.
Is that in the 6 slime?
No. It's Questing Beast. I thought that initially, too.
I was like, ooh.
No. No, you have the deck list in front of you.
Yeah.
No. Discarding Entrancing Melody. That means that other card must be good.
Or just hands out his stuff. It's either the stuff that he could steal isn't present, or whatever he plays is going to be so far over the top that the Melody doesn't do it.
Well, it looks like playing in the middle of this game is working out just fine for Zachary Kiihne. Here's another copy of Jade Light Ranger. Explore once. Vivian, Arcbow Ranger.
I think, Hand wants to leave that on top, both because it's powerful and also because he has an incentive in this spot to make the Jade Light Ranger 4 and threaten a trade.
Crew the Copter. Put the counters from Virgil's Gearhawk onto the Copter. Mill the Disdainful Stroke. Pass the turn back. Now we got to deal with the 7/7 Copter. Not messing around here. Now, Virgil's Gearhawk, so that's a fan favorite right here. I was a big fan of that card.
No Nykthos, just paying 5.
That's right. We're doing it the hard way.
I have a Llanowar Elf and 4 lands. That's how I cast it.
Honest game. I respect a player who's going to just pay 5 mana and Pioneer. Do their thing.
How many copies in this deck?
A V Gearhawk? I'll tell you. 3.
3's a commitment.
3's a lot. There's Nissa. I played this card last weekend, too.
How was it?
Very good. It's very powerful. Land for the turn. Access to 4 green mana. Now it's time for Vivian. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a feeling a Jade Light Ranger is going to fight something. It's just, is it going to fight the Gearhulk or is it going to fight the Thought Knot Seer? It's going to fight the Thought Knot Seer. Give me a card. Thank you much. Pass the turn back. Kiihne is going to crew Oasis, kill you. He didn't miss it.
Nope.
Hatchet Oasis is a desert that you can sacrifice a desert and give a creature +3/+3, which is what Kiihne just did. That's going to equal 10 damage Xaxes, and that's game.
Yeah, I'm getting the vibe that being on the play is a big deal in these Elvish Mystic matchups.
Oh, you think so?
Let's look that way early. Happy to be proven wrong over the course of this weekend. So far, being on the play has been important for these players.
Breaking news. I've been informed that we have the weekly sale slide to sell people cards. Oh, yeah. Let's get them some basics, baby.
Well, I mean, what other cards would you ever want to buy other than basic lands? I'm not kidding. Head over to go.sarcgames.com/sale. The sale will end Monday, 11 o'clock East Coast time in the AM. We'll have a new sale up, so make sure to be checking back the website once a week at least, see what's on sale for a limited time remaining. select basic lands, and it runs the full gamut. I believe, I don't know if they're sold out, but earlier in the week I saw some alphas and betas on sale.
Oh, that's fun.
Not a lot of opportunities to get those on the cheap, so head over to go.rcgames.com/sale.
Let me take a look at this graphic here. So I got Snow-Covered Swamp. That's from Modern Horizons.
Yeah.
Plains from Unglued.
Yep.
Mountain from Zendikar. Battle for Zendikar.
Right.
Island from that's after Unstable. And I don't know what Wald is from.
It is, I don't know if it's Renaissance or German 4th edition or something, but it's a 1990s kind of old school black bordered German forest.
Okay.
Using some of the artwork from early Magic.
Okay, there it is.
Can't remember the exact set.
Go.starcitygames.com/sale for more information. Hand, Kiihne, Game 3, coming at you. It's a whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's an illegal game action there by Dylan Hand. No one drop.
You got 7 over there?
Was that a keep 7? No one. You better walk in Ballista this. You better Ballista that elf or you're going to lose. Burning Tree Shamans? I don't like it. A couple of 2/2s. You better have a Nykthos. Kiihne just going to pass? No, he's not passing turn back. He's got a spell to play. That's a fun card. Oko, no Joko. This better be the best third turn of all time, Dylan.
I don't see a Nykthos over there.
Oh, no. I'm going to take that. It almost killed Oko. Almost got it. Pass turn back.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
With the London Mulligan?
Do you know how many cards Kiihne had in his opening hand last game where he won just front to back, game never in question?
I think he kept 6.
At 5.
Was it 5 card now? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Couple Grizzly Bears ain't going to do it there. But we'll see how the game unfolds.
Yeah. No Nylea, no Nyx.
I'm going to take that. A little surprised to not see Thought-Knots here be cast.
No.
No? Is there something better here?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty safe assumption here that Dylan does not have Nyx. He's got a lot of 4-mana cards, and just leveraging your battlefield presence as much as possible is the best thing you can do to sort of preemptively manage the Planeswalkers.
Okay.
So all I want to do is cut off his mana, get as much stuff onto the battlefield as possible, and make it as challenging as possible for Hand to catch up with something like Vivian or Nissa.
Okay.
And I think this is the best line of play.
So you like gumming up the battlefield.
Also, there's a chance that Hand just doesn't have a land drop for next turn. He might just be out of mana.
Well, here's Vivian, Arcbow Ranger. It's got some real work to do. We're going to spread out the counters. A couple 3/3s there. Really good at trading with Elks.
Yep. Also, the having the Elvish Mystic just creates more leverage points in a variety of respects with Oko. It's another thing that you can swap later on. So just casting it for anything at all, I think it's pretty good in that spot. It's pretty efficient. And you're constraining Hand's mana. And if he's constrained on mana, it's going to be very hard for him to catch up.
Let's go over Kiihne's battlefield here real quick. He's got an Oko. He's going to turn Shaheen into an Elk. Elks are going to attack Vivian. Shaheen is a 1/1. Well, it was a 1/1 token from Lovestruck Beast going on an adventure. But now Shaheen is turned into an Elk. There's also a food token that's an Elk. Now Vivian's going to fall down to 2.
And any trades that Kiihne can generate in all of this also pins Nykthos off the top. And the Elf is part of that too.
Ether Hub, there's your Thought-Knots here. I see Reclamation Sage and Once Upon a Time. I would say that I would take Reclamation Sage because Once Upon a Time, there's not enough mana.
Right. The Hand can't do multiple things in a turn.
Yeah.
And if he spends his time looking for something, whatever he's going to find is going to be small, and then next turn you're in a really good position to attack the Vivian down, and now all the house of cards just completely collapses. Hand has nothing, and then is not drawing to very much either.
Kiihne going to take a little while in this decision, though. He's on the precipice of winning this game and therefore the match, so he wants to make sure he doesn't make any calculation errors. Looks like he'll go with the Reclamation Sage. There's a Smuggler's Copter.
Right.
Make that decision even easier.
I like taking the Reclamation Sage there, even if it's not the most powerful, and Once Upon a Time can theoretically find anything. I think that if you take the wind out of Dylan's sails this one turn, the next turn is going to be so good for you that there's not going to be much of a chance of catching up.
Here's Once Upon a Time. He found a copy of Nykthos, but it's a little bit late to the party. Now he does have 5 Devotion, has not played a land yet, and I think his draw for the turn was Nissa. So we're fighting back.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the best sequence you can ask for there.
Yeah. It's a heck of a 1-2 there from Dylan Hand.
The issue here, though, is the Smuggler's Copter. Hand's not in a good position to interact with that card, and it's going to be very hard for him to protect his Planeswalkers in the long term.
Now Vivian's going to do a little bit of buffing, and we're going beatdowns. Well, okay, see you later, Oko. Let's head back over to Zachary Kiihne now. You mentioned the Smuggler's Copter. We might be going for a ride here in just a moment. Another Smuggler's Copter was the draw step. So Kiihne does have an Oko and a Copter in hand. He's going to try to figure out if there's a good way for him to get to these Planeswalkers, because he does have to manage those now.
Hand has at least moved himself in a position where he's drawing to his large cards. He's going to have a lot of mana to work with. He's
going to crew up the Copter and trigger, discarding Smuggler's Copter. So there goes Vivian. Nissa still left over. Speaking of Vivian, that was the draw step there for Zach Kiihne, and he does have the requisite mana to cast the card. He'll deploy Oko in the interim, though. And now a Lovestruck Beast will enter the fray. It was on an adventure, but now it's in play. So a lot to be done here this turn for Kiihne. He took care of a Planeswalker, deployed a Planeswalker of his own, and now has a 5/5 back on defense. So not too bad a turn. And that Lovestruck Beast can actually do some attacking next turn because there are multiple 1/1s on the battlefield as well. Thought-Knot Seer is going to turn into an Elk, which means it removes that text when it leaves the battlefield.
Yep. At this point, you know, Kiihne's position is pretty straightforward here. Just prevent Hand from being able to make good inroads onto the battlefield. Part of that is cutting off as many good draw steps as possible, and so the Thought-Knot Seer's drawback really meaningful here. He's still in a good defensive position. The 5/5 kind of shuts down any options that Hand has for attacking, and Kiihne can also cobble together some good double blocks the following turn.
And Hand will pass the turn back. So we're going to go back over to Zachary Kiihne now. Kiihne will untap all those lands, all those creatures, and draw a card. Again, he's got Vivian in the holster here. Draw step was a mystery. But for the Mythic Invitational participant earlier this year at PAX East, he's got to be feeling good about this game thus far. He's just trying to figure out a way to navigate through these Planeswalkers now as Nissa continues to generate a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, the big quest here is just make it to so that Hand is drawn to as few of his powerful cards as possible. The battle over, mana is over, although if you're able to get the Nissa off the battlefield and engage the Burning Tree Emissary and the Llanowar Elves in the combat, then you cut off Nykthos, and Hand's draw steps are much less threatening.
Well, there's Vivian, and Vivian in combination with the Copter should be able to get the job done here on the Nissa. So there is a Copter attack. I'm a little surprised to see him go about doing things this way.
What would you have preferred to see?
I believe that Vivian can fight a Planeswalker if memory serves.
Well, next turn, all you're letting Hand do is turn a land into a 3/3. Who cares?
I don't know. I kind of care. Also, like, my opponent's... Well, Vivian living this turn, what if he draws Polukranos?
You mean Nissa living this turn?
Yeah. If Nissa lives this turn, what if my opponent draws Polukranos or, some big payoff? Now, Reclamation Sage, okay, sure. But Vivian's minus allows you to have a creature deal damage to a Planeswalker. So Lovestruck Beast, minus, you have your Lovestruck Beast finish off the Nissa in combination with the Smuggler's Copter attack. I don't want Nissa on the battlefield.
Okay.
Because, like, your blocks are fine, but it's more importantly that Nissa, like, Hand can steal this game from drawing a Polukranos or some other just, like, if Hand draws Ballista now, we're in a world of trouble.
Yep, sure.
Now, Kiihne's going to take a look in the sideboard to see what he can search for. Got a Frilled Mystic in the board. Tireless Tracker. Got a Ballista of his own in there. Because Vivian does let you take a creature from the sideboard and add it to your hand. Oko's doing its thing right now this game too. Now, to Zachary Kiihne's credit, Dylan Hand doesn't really have great attacks at this stage, so it is just a couple of 3/3s hanging out, but, if you've been playing Standard at all, Nissa's mana generation is a serious concern.
Yeah, I mean, between Nykthos and Nissa, Hand is drawing very heavy to his best cards.
Yeah.
No question.
And he's gummed it up so that he's going to get more looks at his best cards because Kiihne doesn't have any good attacks. So we might be working ourselves in the draw-go territory now. There's no more... a Copter got destroyed by Reclamation Sage. Another one got discarded earlier. Now Vivian's going to go plussing. And these creatures are going to go attacking. Now one way to slow Nissa down, at least a little bit, is to have the lands die.
Right, and the 4/4s are well sized for this sort of a fight here. If you trade off the Burning Tree Emissary with one of them, that's at least some mana through Nykthos that's constrained. The other creatures there, the Reclamation Sage and the Elvish Mystic, do not add up to a gang block on a 4/4, so you got to start engaging with your forests, and all of this is a way of constraining mana. And next turn, your Vivian and Oko should offer up another good set of attacks. So Hand is drawing, like I mentioned before, to a lot of his best cards, but he's got to find it soon because his board position is going to start deteriorating very quickly, even if he's able to protect the Nissa for another turn or two.
Yep. There's a food token. There's another Love Struck Beast. Now also, if you're Zachary Kiihne and Dylan Hand, you have to think about what swapsies Oko can make.
Right. Yeah,
that can mess some things up.
I mean, hanging back on defense against an opponent with Oko and Vivian's really complicated because chump blocking is hard to manage with Oko, and then a lot of your best big stuff also doesn't work that well because of Vivian outsizing things or Oko just turning it into an elk.
Jadelight Ranger's going to explore twice. He'll get a counter, putting that Elvish Mystic into the graveyard. A Forest will turn into a 3/3 there from Nissa, but again, no real good attacks.
And this is what I'm saying about his battlefield deteriorating here. He's either going to lose the Nissa or lose his forests or lose cards with green mana symbols. All of this speaks to him losing mana. And once his volume of mana deteriorates to a certain point, he's not even drawing to his best cards anymore because they require a lot of mana.
And then Walking Ballista, Pelucranos, and other mana sinks just become significantly
modest draws that he can easily manage with his Planeswalkers.
So Kiihne's doing a little bit of math here. Again, he's got Oko on 8, so he can do the big swapperoo. And Vivian doesn't appear to have anything great to do with the minus. So I'm going to take that land, and he's so nice. Such a nice man is Zachary Kiihne, giving Dylan a food token.
One blocker down.
That's right. Might have some interest in turning those Love Struck Beasts into 6/6s, which means the double blocks look a lot worse then. And we cannot forget about that Hashep Oasis that's hanging out over there too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem here. Hand has to hang back on defense, and Kiihne's cards give him so much power and flexibility with how to engage in combat. That trying to hang back on defense against these cards is not sustainable for a turn or two.
This battlefield has gotten a little bit complicated here for Kiihne, so he's going to do a little plussing. And I like this play a lot. Let's turn those into 6/6s. If you want to take care of these Love Struck Beasts, you're going to have to do some double blocking, which is going to, as you've mentioned numerous times, kind of make the house of cards start to tumble.
Yep.
So that means that Nissa has been taken care of. Botanical Sanctum is the land for the turn there for Kiihne. He's going to enter the battlefield tap, give them the number of lands that are on the battlefield. And now Dylan Hand is in some serious trouble. He needs one heck of a draw step here to get back in it.
Pelucranos, Walking Ballista, those draw steps are not shabby, but I don't think they catch him all the way up from here. Last turn, they might have caught him all the way up.
Yeah, they've gotten significantly worse. Pelucranos, as an example, he'd have to tap quite a few lands to be able to deploy it. Now it looks like Jadelight Ranger and some other bozos are going to come into the red zone here. So, Oko down, but it's already gotten its work done. And now there's another Jadelight Ranger. So we'll explore twice. Forest going to the grip. Let's make it 2 for us going to the grip and pass the turn back. So that's just a 2-1, which is not great on this battlefield. We'll head back over to Kiihne now. Those 2 Love Struck Beasts. They're 6/6s. Vivian will go down. Now, what are we looking for?
Very quick tutor here.
Frilled Mystic.
I mean, if you're this ahead on the board, that's the check mark, right?
Ideally.
The last piece of the puzzle is cutting off the top card of Hand's deck, and now we've done it.
There's Oko, no Joko. Oko's going to start at 4. We know how quickly this thing gets out of control.
And you can pass for 1 turn here if you want to, and then really start going on the offense next turn.
Don't forget that forest, too, is going to have vigilance there for Kiihne that he's taken. Well, he's turned into an elk now, so no worries there. Oh, and he's also got a Virtuous Gearhulk in hand, too. Yeah, so he's setting up for, looks like 1 big punch as Nykthos the draw to go alongside a basic forest there for Dylan Hand. He'll play the forest pass the turn back, right back Kiihne's way. Kiihne with a Virtuous Gearhulk and a Frilled Mystic in hand. He'll add a Llanowar Elves to the grip now. It's actually an Elves Mystic, pardon me. It's all the same. Vivian going to add some +1/+1 counters to those Love Struck Beasts, plural. There's a quick chump block. Oko going to plus. Going to go up to 7. There's your food token. Pass that turn back. Let's go over to Dylan. He's at 4. Once upon a time, he's not going to be able to save him. Zachary Kiihne is going to win this game and match here over Dylan Hand. 2-1. Simic Eldrazi able to steal one here from Mono Green Devotion. And for Zachary Kiihne, he starts his weekend off